Everyone, Tori here, coming in to do the energy update for the week of September the 10th. Well, I guess it should have been the 9th, but I didn't record yesterday. So the week of the 10th all the way into the end of probably the weekend. I don't know where this is going. All of my recent messages tend to keep going on and on and on into the end of the year type of thing, into November. They keep expanding. So let me start with this. If you want to come meet me and see me live in Newfoundland, I will be in Grand Falls, Corner Brook, at St. John's, and Gander. Now, the St. John's date is not announced. It will be within the next day or so. I'm waiting for a call back, trying to just validate or verify where exactly I'm going to be working, where my event will be. But it will be in October. So the 15th, I'm in Corner Brook, the 17th, I am in Gander, and on the 19th and 20th, I am in Grand Falls. And there's two separate types of events that are happening in Grand Falls on the 19th and the 20th. So go check it out. Go to my website or go to my Facebook page and you can see all the events. The link is below and you can go check it out. And yeah, I hope to see many of you that are in Newfoundland come see me. So in the energy, what is happening? Well, today itself has a really kind of some good energy is really shifted in and making itself at home in today's energy. It feels like we can feel the sense of relaxed or in our home, in our space, like today, but also not wanting to kind of go anywhere. There is a bumping in energy that's coming in. That is the irritation, the things that just kind of like, when something really good happens and then you just get that one little thing that sucks the joy in just for a minute, but you get back in again. And so you may be feeling like, I don't want to go out there today. I don't want to go do something today, but you're very focused on yourself. So this week has a lot of energy that is very self-focused and focused on the individual self and what it is that individual self is needing. And remembering that we are not, that when we say, we're to stay right here, stay with us, and we're right here, is that there's a version of us that is of the invisible forces, the invisible energy, the invisible truth that is so powerful and so big, and that it's not the physical body, it's something bigger than that, it's something more than that. And we are so much more than we could ever imagine. And that energy is really playing out in being with the individual self and the individuality. You may find yourself wanting to be seen, stand out, be understood, whatever that may be. You may be feeling that today, this week, in this energy. You may be feeling that you want to do something by yourself. You don't want a group. You don't want other people to join you. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. It is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we need that space. Because if there's so much chatter around you, if there's so many people talking and so many opinions, how do you know what you want and how can you gain the clarity? So this is really speaking to us this week in this week's energy. We also have, I feel like I got to backtrack to something, but I just totally lost whatever that is. They keep moving me past whatever that is. And so a big part of the individuality of self is a part of the small I and the power of I am in the small I. And then the individual personal journey that we take with the divine or with God or with whatever that energy is for you is the power of the I am, something that is bigger than us, something that is more powerful than us. And the power of the I am is really in the capital I am, in the big I am, is really truly speaking to us that this is the beginning of a new spiritual path, a new spiritual journey. So backtrack, here's what it was that was in the beginning, is if you've had things that you've had on that to-do list or that planning list that you've been creating, those goals, is today's energy and moving forward this week is a really good week to begin to take action, to begin to step into a plan, whatever that you've been planning. I feel like there's a lot of go ahead, get started, but things are the engine is beginning to step up. I'm running on a scroll. I do have this energy of a divine one coming through, and they're showing me a scroll and they're giving me scrolls and light language. So I know there's a lot of light coming in, and I can hear the light language, but I'm being able to communicate this through in our language. But there is a lot of light coming in, and the presence of the blue beings, and you may not know about the blue beings or the blue light beings. And so this powerful energy and this powerful force, this light force energy, is that this week is filled with light. There's a lot of light coming in, a lot of powerful influence coming in, but it's so easy to get captivated by the it's so easy to get captivated by the imitation, by the false light. And so we're going to see more and more of that false light starting to appear. But it also speaks of what the language they're giving me is the negative energy, the negative entities, the negative beings, that there is a influence, like a portal energy, that's bringing in what appears to be so-called good for you, but not good for you. So this could be a time of where you meet that so-called person. If you're my single people, that you meet that so-called person that you're like, oh, they're just right. They're just everything I'm looking for. And it's like you get blinded by the light. And because you're blinded by the light, you can't see beyond the light that is blinding you, but it's imitation light. It's not really true light. So you may be this week finding yourself meeting that energy, but quickly also seeing through that energy. There could be a very quick ending to that energy. You may find that people of the past who were never really your friends, or never really never really there to be your cheerleader or on your side, you may find those people making an entrance or trying to make an entrance. Like there's like this portal energy that's just like, here's all this negative. And so it's very important to close this door off, to just, set the intention, is what they're telling me. Set the intention to already seal, close off anything or anyone that's not for your highest good and not of the true, authentic light as you move forward. To see this door being closed, so be it. And to see it, so be it. They're telling, so be it, so be it. And so they're telling me that they are sealing off, closing off this energy, if you so choose to accept that. And it's to say yes to, I'm closing this, I'm not allowing this. And so as fast as it tries to get in or come in, it's eradicating, it's revealing itself really quickly. Many of you have gotten to the point of where you can recognize this much faster than before. And so it is coming in. So it's a temptation. It could be the words that say to you, oh, you'd be so much better on your own. You're better at that than the other person is. You can do that better. You know better. But have you been really, truly, is it that you're here to be better than somebody else, or to keep being the best version of yourself? And so if you have been continually practicing to kind of be somebody else, then you will never, ever authentically be yourself regardless. You're always going to be chasing something, right? And so this energy is a temptation energy. And it just feels it's right here. And they're showing me the energy and it's coming in. They're just saying, close the door. It's like, close the door on that. So there is that false light. There is this false truth. There is this. So it's also where you see the amped up energy of, say, online impersonators coming in. It's where you see those salesmen coming knocking on your door, for electric companies and those things. You see them come with their tags on, and they always got a better deal. They got a better offer. They're better. And if they're ex from the past, they're better than they once were. They got it all figured out. They know exactly what they're doing. Now they're all the right person for you. Please, please take me back. No. It may be the week or the energy of where the planning is about finally being able to come full circle and put an ending, or to sign the papers for an ending of some sort. It could be a separation. It could be a legal document of any sort, but where this energy is a really good energy for that as well. And so that you can finally begin to step forward. Now, I do see like a pendulum, like a swinging bridge energy also coming in. And so that pendulum is swinging this way and that way. There is to be and this is in my last week's channeled message, and I'm seeing it again, and I'm seeing it as the building blocks. And I know as I've been watching people on my Facebook and stuff that I've seen this coming through within families or groups or organizations of where that glue, that matriarch energy of the family or the family dynamics changes because there is a passing, a death of that person that's the matriarch, that we're seeing, that then we're seeing the building blocks fall apart. Now I say a family dynamic, but I also see this on a big global scale, and I've said I see it on a big stage in the world, and that is the ending, the death of somebody who is in authority, whether it is the passing of, say, a president, and there's not just one president, I mean other places, a president, and somebody of an organization. So that's on a big scale. Bringing it back into yourself is that kind of that piece of the shadow that's been the matriarch of keeping the shadow alive is finally pulling. It's like you're finally pulling out the rotten root, or it's the good energy for it to be able to pull out like the rotten rooted energy, or the old energy that is outdated. So we have like this outdated energy within us that is now ready to be like pull the plug on that, and to be able to be ready to move forward. So things that you would have been participating in the past may not, you'll see kind of groups kind of fall apart, or just dismantling. You'll see dismantling. You could, not saying it, but you could see dismantling of big organizations. So it could be bankruptcies in big organizations. It could be a restructuring or rebranding in big organizations. So bring that into ourselves, and that it is a time of when you may see rebranding, restructuring your own life. And really, truly, it's okay to reinvent yourself. You can't reinvent the wheel, and you can't reinvent the authentic parts of ourselves, because that's the innate is locked in. But the character we play, who we play, the way we are in our world and our lives, it could be your hair color, it could be a haircut, it can be something like that. It could be a change in jobs, positions, that you just begin to kind of start the journey of. So because it is a planning, from planning to taking action, or from a thought into action, is that this is a week of being able to see that, or to start to be that, or to start to develop that part, cultivate, create. It's a time of harvesting. It's time of being able to use the alchemy to harvest those things that you have been, those seeds that you had grown into true thoughts that are now ready to be pulled into your reality. So the imagination's creative self that has been creating, dreaming of something, but you've got to be very careful here. This is energy that says you have to be very aware of the shadow versus the authentic self, and who has been cultivating and creating this, because this can also have Frankenstein energy. Right? This can be Frankenstein, or this can be divine. So it's like Frankenstein, and Frankenstein creating Frankenstein's bride. This energy is what we have this week. And because it reveals itself, it comes in through this energy, is because I want this, because this is who wants this, what version of me wants this. Am I still trying to validate something that I believe was missing, that I was, so for years I wrote about being like the number 2 child, the forgotten child, and I had to do a lot of healing work around that to realize what a bullshit story that was. It holds truth. It holds a lot of truth, but it wasn't because anyone was forgetting me. um, it was the fact of time. It was the fact of different needs, all those things that you look at when you can start to collect in more truths. Now, it doesn't deny the truth that you're feeling, and I wrote about that in my second book. It's like, so yes, that happened. Yes, this is the way it was. Yes, I can see it from the adult view. Yes, I can see the perspective differently, but it still don't make things okay or right. And so it's not waiting for that other people to right the wrongs. It's what we do as adults to right the wrongs, so that we don't keep repeating and doing that in our own lives, and showing up at more dress rehearsals than in the main act. that we don't present ourselves as something that we have to keep trying to keep up the act, to keep things going, to keep up a false confidence. And that's all that's over here in this energy that is kind of trying to seep its way in, that it will have an influence. It does have an impact. So you have that shadowy energy. And the reason why why we're feeling it is because it's ready to be released. It's ready to be done. It's ready to be let go, to let it out and to let it out and let it be done. So it's a time of release so that we can truly reset the rebirth energy, and recognizing what rebirth energy really truly is for us. Because every day we're reborn. Every day we're reborn, which means every day we have an opportunity. Every day we have a new opportunity about how we're going to see things, how we're going to think, how we're going to feel, how we're going to show up. And so if the first thought that ever comes in is that thought over here that you have been carrying around in your little bag of thoughts as the heaviest of the most weighted, as the one thing that you have been growing from, that festered story, is that it's heavy, it's dead energy, it doesn't have light. And that's where the imposter light exists. And over here is this true light of possibility. If we just walk this way, if we just exist in, if we know that only us can right our wrongs, and we right our wrongs in how we begin to treat ourselves, how you begin to show up, how you begin to exist in your own world, and those stories that you use and tell yourself. So that's really coming in. Now we also have a strong influence of the Ascendant Masters this week. The Ascendant Masters, and for the longest time I was talking about the old order of angels, and that's the way they're showing me. But we have the light beings, the blue beings, which is a strong influence of beautiful, positive light. It's of our good. And then I also have the Ascendant Masters. And so I'm feeling the essence of an authority. That's what it feels like. It's like this powerful authority figure. And so spiritual authority, spiritual know-how, spiritual awareness, those are the languages, and that language that's coming through. And so it has a weight to it. It has a thump to it. It's like when that person of authority can walk in and the shoulders are back, and everything just kind of, you just know. And that's where it's like, so that becomes an influence that we walk with faith in our steps, and each and every step that we take holds the weight of knowing that sense of divine expression of self. And so this gives us the opportunity to work with these powerful energies that are here to influence and help guide us to exist in becoming that best version of ourselves, living that best, healthiest of life. And best, healthiest of life doesn't mean that everyone is the millionaire. So if you look, for example, that you can have a CEO who's made it to the top, making millions, and can be absolutely freaking miserable, can have no love, have no happiness, but got all the money in the bank because all they focused on was the money. And on the bottom of the chain of the building is that has been taught to us by the systematic society, is the so-called least important. And that least important would be the steward of the building, the one who makes sure that building is taken care of. But here's the truth: the CEO, who has spent their whole life reaching the top to be somebody important, is the one who is probably the least important and still defining by material. But that building cannot run and cannot be in a healthy, clean state, cannot be, organized if it is not, because if they didn't have the steward. And so down at the bottom, just imagine, here's that steward says, I don't have to worry about all that stuff. I don't have anything to chase. I don't have anything to go after. I have found my happiness. They get to go home and they have their happy family. They have their happy life. They have nothing left to keep trying to dig out to make them happy. They realize that happiness is inside of themselves. They realize it's in the job that they do. It is a satisfaction. It is the pride that in knowing, and it is about the strong moral compass of just having pride in the work, in who we are and what we do, and in the world that we create and the world that we influence. And so if we see that on a scale, say, like, let's just say, for example, the CEO and the steward, is that this is the illusion. It doesn't mean that it's always the illusion. There's a lot of very well balanced, happy CEOs, but we're just saying the one who's only focused on this top chain of getting to be the president, getting to be the head of this big building, but yet they're never happy, they're never satisfied, because what were they chasing? Usually it's an unmet need of an inner child, an inner younger version of themselves. A younger adult could be that they were always overlooked, they were bullied, they were anything, but then you keep trying to right that wrong through proving yourself, instead of saying, I got nothing to prove to anyone. That's their problem, not my problem, but I'm over here, and I'm just the best reward that we can do is to find our joy, is to find that balance in our lives, is to find that happiness, that happy place, that sweet space, because we have nothing left to chase. But we also know from that place that you're so worth it, that that person knows their worth. They know their value. They know what they bring to the table. They don't need someone else to validate that. They don't need someone to walk in and go, wow, look at a good job you did. Now, it does help, of course, to be acknowledged. There's a difference in to be validated because of our insecurities, or to be acknowledged for the work, for what it is. But sometimes it can get old. And so this energy is getting old, and you just see this breakdown of how we show up, how we exist, how we belong in this world. And living and seeing and breathing in that energy of how we show up in the world, how we exist in our world, who and what we be in this world. And and yeah, and so it's really about coming back into this self that has no physical self, back into this knowing the power of the I am. And the ascendant masters is bringing in that power of the I am, and bringing in that connection of the power of the I am. So it's a greater wisdom, it's a greater knowing. There's a powerful influence that is opening up a gateway, like a swinging bridge, a gateway that is over here, that it will be walked by less, because more people will go this way for a while. More people will buy into this than they will buy into this, because this this is not instant gratification. This is long term, but it's work for great gains, right? It's long term. It means it requires consistency. It requires a commitment. It requires a dedication. But what we don't realize here, the instant gratification requires being very dedicated as well, but dedicated to the wrong things for the wrong reasons. And being able to move beyond that. And so I just want to like move away from that energy. So we do have that energy, we have that influence. So they're given to me as a story, so that I can give you like a story for this, is what the way that they're showing me. And as they continue to speak, they're getting quick, like the language is communicating through faster and speeding up. And I feel like the light is becoming so fast, it's like we have it's spiraling, it's spinning. And so we have some sort of urgency that's hitting. And I feel as if this urgency is hitting maybe closer to Thursday or Friday of this week, like, or maybe into the weekend, but it feels hurricaney, like something is spinning up. So on a weather wise, something is spinning up, something is happening, something is coming in. And so there's just like vortex of spinning energy that is being showed. It's like seeing wild coyote come in, right? Or a road runner. So it's like, choo. And so I just see this like push, this like in a rush, and something feels like it's in a rush, or it's because things are being pushed. So because there's things that are trying to be pushed into our world, is that it feels like it's coming in, but it will not have the weight of the ascendant masters, and it's going to disintegrate. And so it's like it doesn't have the power, but I wouldn't be surprised to see if we do see some sort of hurricane energy hit. Um, I feeling I want to say like south or southeast is kind of what I'm getting. I don't know where that is, south or southeast, but I know we're not really in hurricane season. So, um, or maybe we are. Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't know. I don't have anything that's being tracked, but I feel like there's something unexpected that's coming in and hitting somewhere. I don't have a location. I don't have an exact location. I just feel like it's like a southeast type of thing. Uh, yeah, disruption. It just got a little bit of disruption to it. And then they also have, so then I feel things calming down. So then we just move into like a calmer energy. So we're kind of being influenced by an incoming energy, a storm of something coming in, but we also still have all of this good energy. So it's like there is this sense of pushing back or pushing back, but something, it's like the light will reveal. The light will reveal. So there is some real revealing energy that really comes in here as well. Um, for some people who've been trying to be in control of making plans to go their way, um, I feel like things are not going to move quite as quickly. So that sense of that that authority that we have, that physical self of I want this and I know this is right for me. It's like really truly being honest with self and asking, why did I want that? Why was it that I wanted that? What was I chasing? It keeps going back to chasing. I feel like there's a chasing story here. And then coming back into a reality because life reveals itself and life reveals where we're needed. Life reveals what is needed. Life reveals something different to us. So there is something that is coming up. Now I am picking up health issues as well. So physical body health ailments, it's as if in order for healing to begin, things have to be revealed. So you be someone who's been getting a lot of tests done and having to, check on a heart, cardiac, it could be lungs, kidneys, those type of things that are coming up. I'm really getting this in the center of self here as well. And really truly having to just know that sometimes things have to be revealed so that they can be healed. And so there feels like there is some revealing things that are coming back in results or in testing for around heart. I keep trying to breathe, so it could be lungs as well. I don't know why I keep getting that, but and it's just like so that we can heal it, so that we can resolve it. And this is coming up health wise, but it's also a very good time to also start a detox, a body cleanse. And that includes your thoughts, that includes what you watch, what you listen to, the energy that you hang out with, where you get yourself stuck, and everything that we hold so to convictions of being absolutely right. Always remember there's always another side of the story. And that is so empowering when you recognize that in yourself, that all you can see or all you know is what has emotionally impacted and influenced you. And when we get so tangled up in there, we can't see that sometimes the way we show up and the way we behave has an impact and an influence on others. And that we live in a very personal world and that things are taking very personal. And sometimes you got to walk the journey of the small eye to be able to see the habits, that may be ones that you didn't think was that severe, but has an effect on other people. Or the fact that that sense of having to feel like you having to keep everything in the shady part. It's secret. All the things that you tend to want to keep secret sometimes appears as shady because people wonder why, 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 right? And so there's a lot of that influence energy that's also revealing in the detoxing of energy. Like I said, we're pulling up and we're pulling out, but we also, like I said, the building blocks, I feel like because the main center structure, it's like the beams in a house that keeps a house standing. And it's like once the beams are no longer there, everything crumbles and falls apart, and we have to rebuild the structure. And structure needs stability. And so there's something that kind of moves through breaking down that stability. And sometimes we have to walk that journey, that path, and there's no way around that. Like sometimes we have to walk in it, but if we keep running from it, if we keep avoiding it, we keep ending up over here in this energy. And so this week is really bringing in the influence of a lot of a smorgasbord of things, and there is so much powerful influence of light that is feeding through and communicating with us in such incredible, amazing ways, that we are loved, we are the light, but we hold the light. And because we hold the light, that's why that influencing of the other of the imposter light really truly needs to often come in and dull the light, right? If it can dull at least a few lights, then the light won't be as powerful. If we can get a few to get to the skeptical, to get all only caught up over here, or to feel lost, or to feel so hard done by everyone else, if we can get people back into that truth, into believing that truth as their truth, then they will want to come this way and not go that way. And so there is the swaying of energy. And so there is the pendulum. And it's like, so if you're the center, if you can get to your center, get back to here, and just know, it's like, okay, so this, what's here, what keeps influencing this? And why am I so easily influenced? Um it's not gullible. That's not the word. Sometimes it's naive. And I know myself that I have a huge level of naivety. It is actually my personality. And it's very good to do a personality test. One of the best personality tests that I've ever done, whether you like this person or not, this is personal choice. But Jordan Peterson's personality test is amazing. It taught me a lot about myself. The Enneagram, learning about the Enneagram is another one. Your human design, your natal chart, which I mean, I'm all about the natal charts. I'm all about human design and gene keys. The more that you can know more about you, the more that you know how you show up. But they're not your Bibles, and that these are all things that have been programmed through, that have been brought through to give these details. But they are all influenced by human knowledge. And human knowledge gives us this false sense of a security or false sense of truth. And then we get tied to existing and living only by that. And the moment you do is the moment that you're back to chasing something, you're back to trying to live by that. But, and of course, I love it all, but it's all pieces of who we are. They're the fragments of us. They bring in aspects of the self, but there is a greater wisdom. And that's what the Ascendant Masters is bringing to you, is that here, if you just listen, to this self, there is something more. And there's more to you. There's more to the story. There's more. And that's what I would say. It's like, so you get so caught on one side of the story that that's all you see, that's all you know. But there's always more to the story. There's got to be more. And there's this truth and that truth. And then there's a truth that's beyond. There is a soul truth. There's a soul identity. There is something more. And so your human aspects, a part of the way you're born with the planets, speaks volumes. But there is that which the soul once was. And so there's an imprint of the soul and the soul's journey. And then there is what the soul has been waiting to become, to finally be free of, to release. There is a self, and this is where we speak about the reinventing, the really truly redefining some of those versions of ourselves. And some of the greatest things that I've used is my paintings, is my series called Paint Me Beautiful, which is not out yet, but Paint Me Beautiful was the psychology of really truly getting to see emotions land on paper, emotions land on paint in color, emotions be turned to color on blank canvases, and to not know what was coming, not sketching a face, not taking, you know, a projector and projecting an image and then sketching it out and then painting it, not paint by numbers, but to put the brush to paper and just let it move. And so the parts of us that we don't know exist because we try to still to create the plan to see it, is the fact that we cannot trust to just let things unfold, to allow that self to unfold, to just let the brush go and to see what unfolds, to see what comes. So the brush of life, if you're the brush, right? And so this sense of being able to see what's possible if I would just trust, if I could just let go, if I could lose some of those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, because we are so much more defined than you could ever imagine. And the fact that you're so defined by the beliefs, by the things and how we show up, is look at how you believe that, oh, I got this, my to-do list, and if I don't get these, if I don't get these messages out, or if I don't show up here, if I don't do that, then, you know, I'm going to be, all I'm going to be doing is thinking about the things that I didn't get done, right? It's because you can't let go. There's a part of that identity that we hold so strong to that we can't trust. And so when I created all of the Paint Me Beautiful, which I had since put the copyright on, and when I created all of the series of Paint Me Beautiful, each and every one became emotions that went to canvas, and they often started out as ugly. So if you're misunderstood or if you feel like you don't belong, usually that grows, that harvests the other emotions, such as anger, resentment. And we carry so much resentment. You don't even realize sometimes how much resentment we carry, even towards the people that we love or the people that are in our lives. And so when we can start to paint them through, is that behind all of that, you can see what was the original intention. You can see what was the original love, the original desire. You could see what was the original. And then the originality begins to turn into something beautiful. So if you can take the emotions that turn us ugly and create it back into something beautiful, what it means is we're taking it from the dark into the light. And then the light is walking ahead. And when the light walks ahead, the darkness, the shadow of self gets to walk through the love, through the light. It's not that we eradicate those pieces of ourselves, is that we recognize what happens when we allow ourselves to go dark, when we allow ourselves to shut off, close down, ignore, neglect, when we hold on so tightly to wanting to someone else to right a wrong, to have that validation, instead of taking a right turn when we are in doubt, when we're in fear, taking the right turn towards self, towards something more. And so this is really, truly a big part of where we are. So as you can see, there is a light being painted in my paintings. There's several actually. There is some light beings, and what this light beings brings in for us and how they appear is that, so when we can move beyond some of that angers, the pains, the hurt, is one of them is actually named radiance. The other is named bliss. How many times do you walk around talking about living in radiance and bliss? Well, those are expanded emotions. Those are leveled up. They are light. They are light language emotions. These are words and language that we do not use because it doesn't keep us trapped in the system. And so this sense of living a blissful, joyful life, the sense of knowing your own radiance, meeting your own radiance, connecting to your own radiance. It's so easy for you to be so blinded by the light of the radiance of what somebody else, you think somebody else is bringing, but you can't see your own radiance within you. And so these light beings, these blue light beings really truly bring in, and the light that is here to help influence us being able to emotionally and spiritually evolve and grow, so that we can become more and more of what our future as a collective needs us to be and needs us to become as we move forward. And so it's so easy to get trapped. It's so easy to get stuck, and it's so easy to keep letting it pull us down. And that's how we get caught in the isms and the addictives, that such as, you know, your phone, that you get stuck here, you get lost in the phone. And I'm like, I just finished saying, I'm so over myself, and I'm so done with being the sense of feeling like I was being sucked into the vortex of the human world. And I love my human world, but I mean the negatives of the human world. I mean the not so healthy versions of ourselves. So something was trying to, like a magnetic pull, and you just have to catch it and pulling that self up and out and just say, no, no, I have met radiance. I have met bliss. I don't know I don't know who this one is. I don't know her name, but they're all signatured and signed by me. But so if you know her name, um, if you know that emotion, she did come with contentment for me. So for me, she came with contentment. She doesn't have anything written on the back yet, but she did come. So maybe she is contentment. Possibly she is contentment. Possibly. And so, yeah. And so she brings in she brings in to the human world. She doesn't become human. The blue light beings don't become human. They are the beings of their own selves. But there's a lot of being energy that is there. And remembering, you're an alien as well, because you are a human being. She's a blue being, you're a human being. And so the human being having to evolve. And so this is an evolution of self. And this is the power of I am, and that of Saint Germain, that of Seraph's Bay. Like there's just so much that is influencing us right now, that if you really knew the power of true light, it's that it's not going to put on a light show to draw your attention. It's just going to be there. It's just going to stay there. It is like the consistency of staying in your light, staying in the truth, in that sense of integrity and honesty, and staying going the due north and not leaving that of yourself. And that's when you start to see even people come back and apologize. People come back and say, I'm so sorry, because they have to run the gambit around. But just because somebody apologizes, don't mean you have to always let them back into your world. So we have a lot of that that's happening this week. So I could go on forever, and they really don't want to shut this down, but we do have to end this conversation. So they are really here to be with us. There is a comfort in knowing that we are loved beyond love, that we are seen. So if there's anything that I can end this channel message with, that they would love for you to know, is that you are seen. You are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are understood, you are validated, you are enough, you were created in the eye of perfection. You are that of the perfect design for whatever that purpose is for you here on earth. And if you just take the seat, with your soul, and just truly know that that already exists, the journey can be an absolute blissful journey to take. And that's what they want to have. So they're very curious about us. We send you so much love. Have a beautiful day. And I would love to see so many of the people in Newfoundland come meet with me, see me, come see my event, where I give messages from your loved ones in Corner Brook, Grand Falls, Gander, and St. John's. That's the 4 guaranteed places. St. John's will be listed in the next day or so. So I send you so much love. Have a beautiful day. And there is an event happening here in Lacombe. Forgot. There's an event happening here in Lacombe, Alberta, in person on September the 21st. And then there's the online, the Way of the Mystic, or the Mystics, the Mystics Way, which is my online class, which is in our academy, More Than Existing Academy of Higher Consciousness, where you can take part. I got the hiccups in this 4-part series. Oh, this is hilarious. In this 4-part series, that is a part of the masterclass of the soul revival of the divine feminine. And it is really, truly that remembering who we are, remembering you are so much more. It is about channeling through the energy to be able to connect to, listen to your own soul, speak back to you, listen to your spirit, listen to that energy, being able to step into a deeper knowing, to become even more curious, to be curious about self, to be curious about the world that is yours, that we exist in, and to know more about how big and how expansive our consciousness really truly is. So if you're interested in that class, I invite you to come go to my website, corythorne.com, or More Than Existing Academy, which is mteacademy.ca. Everything is in the link below on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, all of the events are there as well. So I send you so much love and thank you for being with me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.